Moved by Councillor O'Grady, seconded by Councillor Seymour. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary motion passed. Business arising from the minutes. Okay, we move on to number 6, permits and correspondence. Councillor Doyle.
Did we do the adoption of the minutes?
Oh, did we? Hold on now. Oh, we did the approval. Yes, okay. Can we get the adoptions of the minutes of the regular council meeting of March 14th? Moved by Councillor Doyle, second by Councillor O'Grady. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary motion passed. Now, business arising from the minutes. Councillor O'Grady. Okay, 5, no proclamations, presentations, delegations. Move on to number 6, permits and correspondence. Councillor Doyle.
If everybody wants to take a look at slide number 3 in their Dropbox, I'll make a motion to approve permit listing 10157 to 10158.
Yeah. Okay, before we move on, I'm going to declare a conflict there on that, on the 10158. So you want to exclude that one for now, and then we can turn the chair over to next in line. What's that? Yeah. You just wouldn't be able to present the motion, that's all. So we're going to do 10157.
Make a motion to approve permit listing 10157.
And can we get a second for that? Seconded by Councillor Snow. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded, motion passed. Okay. Right here. I'm going to step out.
I'll call for the motion. Okay, I'll make the motion to approve permit number 10158.
Seconder? Councillor Snow. All in favour?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, we're finished with the permits. We'll move on now to number 6.2, correspondence requiring council's decision. Correspondence received and action taken. You can have a look down through there.
There is one there that, I don't know how this works. Under C, it's a complaint there. I'm assuming from residents on a particular street. I own a property on that street, so that's not an issue with this because there's no vote or anything like, there's no discussion. Okay. All right, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, move on. Number 7, committee reports, Public Works, Waste Management, and Community Services. Councillor Seymour. Oh, sorry about that. I was told you were going to do it. Yes, that's right.
Okay, everybody, attached in slide 4, you'll see the minutes from the March 22nd meeting. There's 2 motions that came out of it. Number 1, whereas Harris and Associate is currently contracted for consulting services on the Water Street Phase 2 project, and whereas civil engineering fees are required to provide services for street lighting, be it resolved to approve change order number 4 in the amount of $31,950 plus HST to Harris and Associates.
Moved by Councillor Noel, seconded by Councillor Snow. Discussion? All in favour? Contrary minded, motion passed.
Number 2, Whereas Harris and Associates is currently contracted for the consulting services on the Water Street Phase 2 project, and whereas civil engineering fees are required to provide services for the landscaping component pertaining to pavers, be it resolved to approve change order number 5 in the amount of $49,090 plus HST to Harris and Associates.
Moved by Councillor Noel, seconded by Councillor O'Grady. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
And that concludes the motions from our meeting. There's some other information there if somebody has a question they'd like to bring forward.
Number 2 there, the mutual aid agreement between us and the town of Harbour Grace. I think it was 3 days or 4 days after we signed the paper, we had to give support to the town of Harbour Grace at a structure fire. Okay, we'll move on to number 7B, recreation, special events, culture, and tourism. Councillor Seymour.
Good evening, councillors and ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. And recreation, we had a great successful meeting in our last meeting we had. We'll go from here to say that we got a lot of movement on the things coming for us this spring. We have a lot of stuff that was left from last year that we needed to get move on. So early spring, great discussion we had, so we're going to get a move on it. But there is one motion came out of this, and I'd like to go back into that there now and make that motion and make sure it goes through so we can have everything up to par. So the motion is, let's see, here we go. Resolve number 1. Resolve to contract bay builders to complete repairs to the change room, drainage in accordance with the quote provided in the amount of $5,800 plus HST. I so to move, Mr. Mayor.
Moved by Councillor Seymour, seconded by Councillor Noel. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
And if there's any questions or anything, well, you can direct them. We have our EADTOs here today, our Director of Recreation is here, and myself, and as of that, my report is here.
I had a couple of just small questions. First of all, can the ongoing items, can the pergola landscaping be moved back up? Because this is going into April and we've talked about this repeatedly. So like there should be seed go on that as soon as the frost is gone. And also the community garden. They had requested that some beds be revamped over the winter and repaired and new ones made. And I'm not sure whether or not there's been any work done on those beds or anything like that. But I mean, this is the time to do it before the gardening season starts.
Well, Rob, do you want to answer to that? We did look at it.
Yeah, so with regards to your first question, those discussions were had at our last meeting.
Okay.
The pergola, that was already approved to be done last fall. Unfortunately, the growing season ran out of time, so that is going to be part of getting done in the spring first thing as soon as they're able. The second component is there's been nothing started yet. However, I have made a visit to the garden and have identified some of the major ones need to be replacing. So I do know there's some we need some I guess movement with the committee as well, because we've lost some members in that, so that'll all be part of that discussion going forward.
Okay.
That's our report, Mr. Mayor. Anything else?
Thank you, sir. Let's move on to 7C, development. Councillor Dial.
If you could take a look at slide number 6 in your Dropbox, the development committee met on March 23rd. There is a little bit of an update with the municipal plan review. They had a meeting with the company that has been awarded the contract, Upland, and they're moving ahead. So they were reviewing some dates for the public consultation process. Under the applications, we had a couple of applications, one that I'll bring up in a second, and one that we were deferring, waiting for some more information. in order to approve it. We didn't have any correspondence. We didn't have an MEO report. We have some development applications that are still pending information from the developers, whether or not they're going to proceed or not. Some of them didn't have different parts of their applications submitted and stuff like that, so they're kind of held up. We have some business applications that are still pending. Some of them could be missing floor plan information. Stuff from Service NL, they can't be approved until all the information is forward. The motions are resolved to approve the following applications in accordance with applications submitted and the Town of Carbonear Municipal Plan and Development Regulations and other conditions as specified. To operate a new business, cafe, restaurant, and complete interior renovations at number 195 Water Street, conditional upon requirements of the Heritage Zone, and further conditional upon receipt from the approval of the Department of Digital Government and Service NL and other applicable government departments and agencies. And number 2, to relocate an existing business and complete renovations at number 62 Powell Drive upon receipt of the approval from the Department of Digital Government and Service NL and other applicable government departments and agencies.
Moved by Councillor Doyle, seconded by Councillor O'Grady. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
And that's it for us.
Any questions for Councillor Doyle? Go ahead, Councillor Noah.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Chairperson Doyle, number 1B. Everything on? Sorry about that. Yes, Chairperson Doyle, 1B, the public consultation, will there be a session held specifically for council for us to have some discussions prior to that, as we've done with some of the other things, like just with the strategic plan and with the recreation review?
I'll defer to the CAO. I would assume, like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
just
know,
that it's not
yeah.
there, that's why I
Certainly
asked.
follow up with the, with Upland, just indicating the council would like, if that's something the council would like, just indicate to them that we'd like that scheduled.
Given the
So-
importance of that document, I don't know if it was a given,
Yeah.
but I didn't see it there in the minutes, so that's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to number 8. It's the report from the CAO.
Okay, before, just one thing I wanted to mention to you, there is a release requested of a right-of-way that's no longer required. Basically, there's a new access to this particular property, so a motion of council is required, or a resolution approving the mayor and myself to sign off on that release. So if somebody could do that, it'd be great.
Councillor O'Grady.
So resolved to approve the mayor and the CAO to sign an indenture releasing a right-of-way on 54 Water Street and 24 Lamarche Street extension, as it is no longer required for access, as a new access has been created to 24 Lamarche Street extension from Lamarche Street extension. That's what it says.
Moved by Councillor O'Grady, seconded by Councillor Noah. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
Okay, and number 7 in your Dropbox, there's a financial report there to the end of February. Just, I guess, do a summary there, because this is the first report of the year, just identifying the, I guess, the budget that we have in place. So budgeted tax revenue was $5,564,000.12. The revenue levied to date is $5,478,340. This is just over $85,000 below what we budgeted, but there is a public utility levy that will have to be done or it will show up in March. That's not there in February, so that's approximately 25,000. So we're about 60,000 less than we budgeted. But as you know, throughout the year we'll have new new buildings that'll go up, new construction, both commercial and residential. So that should close that. So we should hopefully be pretty close to what we budgeted by the time we get to the end of the year. Revenue from our own sources, that includes a number of things, such as like things that may happen, like miscellaneous revenue from the pools in there, rent, land sales or vehicle sales, just different things that comes up throughout the year. So total budget for that was $537,368. To the end of February, we've collected $77,543 towards that. Our total projected revenue for this year is $9,267,231. Of that, okay, there's a breakdown there in that in the table for you. General government, we budgeted $1,260,450. To the end of February, we've spent $371,945 of that. Protective services includes fire protection and enforcement, and the budget for that is $206,723. To the end of February, we've spent $17,133. Transportation services is our biggest budget area, and that includes like our public works, our snow clearing, all our equipment maintenance and things are all within that budget. Roads maintenance. That's a bit higher than previous years because we didn't get some of our road paving done. So we've got 2 years included there. So that budget is $2,943,912, and to the end of February we've spent $235,314. Recreation services, which includes our pool, all our parks and play fields, and maintenance of those, and that's $1,200,622, and $143,587 has been spent to date. Environmental health includes our water sewer department, and also that's where our garbage collection, recycling, basically waste disposal is there, and that's $886,430, and to the end of February we spent $79,412. Fiscal services includes our different like our loan payments and different fees related to that. That's budget for that is $2,175,899, and we've spent to date to the end of February $77,187 is the total of those two numbers. Planning, development, and culture is $593,196, and we've spent about $30,266. We find that budget is going to get spent mostly during the summer months. You'll see, more will be spent in that area. So to date, like I said, our budget was $9,267,232, and we've spent a total of $954,844. So, like I said, there's obviously no concerns. We're only 2 months into our budget, but that's just a synopsis of that for you. Any questions?
Any questions for the CAO? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Move on to number 8B, Director of Recreation. Mr. Button.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just got a quick report there, just kind of highlight a few things that we've been doing. Start off, the exterior siding of the rear of the pool building has been completed. That was completed last Thursday or Friday, so that's the whole, I guess, south side of the pool. Farthest in full length in the top portion of the multi-purpose room, which has been done. That's tied up that piece very nicely. Getting ready for summer. I know it's only March when there's snow on the ground, but before we know it, summer will be here. So our seasonal staff are due to begin the first week of May. So we'll also be do have one vacant position there that I'll be posting down in the coming days or whatnot. If you see there under our financial report, pool revenue was up from this point last year. The number that you see there of $35,964.33 is probably by week's end will show a bigger difference because we don't have all of our lesson registration in yet. Saturday will be when we get our biggest bulk of that, so you will see a bigger increase. It's probably $10,000-12,000 still outstanding, so we'll have. I guess what I'm trying to say is we're doing a lot better than what the numbers show based on. If you look at our lesson registration, we're almost, to this point from last year, we're almost 400. We are 400, almost 500 people more registrants than we had. So those numbers really don't indicate that increase, but it's because we don't have all our revenue collected yet. And our pool visitations are up slightly. Also, there was a little bit of recording issue there, so that those numbers might be a little bit skewed as well. But we are doing a lot better than we have in the last few years, and I did compare our lesson registration for this particular time of year, and we're actually higher than what we were pre-COVID, so that's a good sign. People are coming back and using our facility. Just to give you an update on our new online registration system, we did start that with our last registration, and from all accounts from the patrons, it was a blessing. There was lots of positive feedback. The biggest complaint was, I guess, people didn't get in and whatnot, but we're at, we had 344 people that registered this set, which is normally only around 270, so we did get extra registrations. 273 of those registrations were online. That gap will definitely close as time goes on. Most of those that were done in-house were because people had problems trying to set up their accounts and things, so as people become more familiar with the system, that number will definitely be more people using the online portion. And there was no line. It was, I guess, good for staff, and in fact, there was no long lineups. The lobby just wasn't people around causing congestion, so all our other programs were able to be accessed more easily and whatnot. There was some things that we still got to figure out on our back end. One of the things is wait lists and trying to figure out how to tidy that up, because once we realized some of the things we had done, it created some more extra work that we can kind of eliminate for our next time around, but that's the learning process of a new system. So I think overall, once we get it all, the bugs ironed out, it's going to be very good for us. Second note there is an update on our recreation master plan. Consultants meeting with Cynthia and I, along with the Recreation Committee of Council, tomorrow to present some of the key findings. And from there, they'll finish drafting a report and present it. The final report then will present it to the public and council upon its completion. That's pretty much all I wanted to kind of update you guys right now. If there's any questions, feel free to shoot.
Any questions for the director?
I've heard lots and lots and lots of positive feedback about the online registration system. So I think between the theater now doing it online with Eventbrite, and special events doing stuff online with Eventbrite, and the town doing, I would expect more people will participate in activities at the pool and the town through the theater and concerts and everything, just because it's more accessible. I think it's fantastic.
Just kind of build on that a little bit with our new registration system too. We may be able to include some of the special events stuff through that program. So, because it does involve facility and registration, so it might be a possibility that instead of using some other platforms, we may be able to use this to kind of help with that stuff as well.
I know there were some problems with the pump out at the pool, and from what I've read, there's a contingency plan in case the pump should fail, that you're working on having a backup one, which is good to see. I don't know if you give a comment on the age of the pump or the cost of it, or replacing it if we need it, or
well, the cost to fix it in a short notice, I guess, was almost $6,000.
No, I meant the replacement pump or whatever.
A replacement pump?
Yeah.
I don't have the final numbers yet.
Yeah.
I do know that they're putting together a quote. I'll probably have to look at some other options too. This is also from one source.
Were you pleased with the repairs?
I was pleased. Oh, the repair's fine. Everything's normal. The issue with our pool is the way it was built years ago is that it's all the pumps and everything are above ground. So when we're trying to prime, it takes longer period because it's above the water level, so you
Yes.
have to pull it up. So therefore, sometimes it gets air into the system, which causes pitting in the pump. So they usually last between 6 and 7 years, which is according to what we usually get, according to the company that did the repairs for us. They said that's pretty, because of the way we're set up, that's a pretty good time frame. So they, I guess normally before COVID and whatnot, when people had this stuff on hand, you can't get things on hand anymore. So they had to fly it in from Ontario and they had to source it and all that stuff. So it took a bit of time. That's why we had the week shut down. Going forward, I'm hoping to have this contingency plan in place where if that happens, then we can put this other one in place. And then,
Bang on.
yeah, and then, well, it should reduce costs for repair then too, because you're not rushing things in and they're not like on demand kind of stuff. So hopefully going forward, it'll be better, quicker repair, better.
That's good to hear.
Thank you, Robert. Okay, we'll move on to number 8C, Director of Operations and Public Works. He's not here tonight, but he did leave a report. Is someone going to read that out there, or it's pretty detailed there?
Yeah, but I think it's only the highlighted, what's highlighted
Yeah.
yellow is new.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody can take a look at that, you know, or they've probably already seen it, so. Yeah, so like I said, it's only the highlighted information is new information there.
Okay, perfect. Move on to number 9, Finances, Operating Invoices over $2,000. Councillor O'Grady.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolved to approve operating invoices over $2,000 in the amount of $190,322.41.
Moved by Councillor O'Grady, seconded by Councillor Knoll. Discussion?
I noticed there that two of the item numbers, 1945 and 1946, are for replacements of those light poles on the Water Street phase. That's an excessive cost that I'm assuming that we can't recoup from the insurance of the vehicles that hit. We can? Okay. So that's not, the town is not absorbing that cost? Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted to know. Because if that was the case, then I was going to suggest that, you know, we move them or put concrete barriers or something, but, you know. Okay.
Yeah, there's insurance.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, you want to go ahead with the next one here?
Okay, I didn't know we had the
No.
motion. Did we have the motion? Okay.
For what?
We didn't vote on it.
No? Okay. All in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded, motion passed. Councillor Knoll.
And there's one capital invoice for Water Street landscaping, PN20-105, Harrison Associates, engineering invoice 7031, the amount of $1,380.
Is that for
I'm
phase
assuming
one or
that's
phase two?
Is it, or,
That's what I want to know.
I don't know, it doesn't say.
Well, I'll go ahead and get a seconder, and then we can,
Is phase one?
yeah. We'll just hold off. 20 SG years.
For sub-consultancies for Carbonear engineering, so that would be phase two.
Because now phase one would be all that.
Okay.
Okay, moved by Councillor O'Grady, seconded by Councillor Knoll. Discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded, motion passed. Okay, number 10, nothing. 11, those motions. New business, determined. Just want to recognize a resident in our town today, Jasmine Whedon. She got gold in the Atlantics at CBS, I think it was last weekend, or last week. So I think she's it's a job to keep track of her because she's always skating up on the mainland and here and there, but she managed to bring home the gold, so congratulations to her on that from the town.
There was a second gold winner from the town of Carbonear, Matthew O'Donoghue. He's a student at Carbonear Collegiate at the same competition, the Atlantics.
I didn't see that there. Yep. And also, last Wednesday, we had 4 new members of the fire department join. Max Barrett, Trevor Snow, Tyler Rogers, and Darrell Parsons. So I just wanted to acknowledge them tonight because I'm not sure when the next report from the fire chief will be. But just while it's in the motion here now, where he just got in there. Okay. All right. All right. So, without, can we get a motion to adjourn? Motion. What's that? No. Moved by Councillor Noel, second by Councillor O'Grady.